Welcome everyone, and this week I'm jumping in for Amy Tan, who is enjoying her lovely little baby boy, and I'm going to be showing you my take on Project Life. So I started off in April, and what I wanted to do was to make Project Life work for me, because I had started PL the year before, and doing it weekly just didn't work for me. I've got a really busy schedule, and trying to fit in getting the photos, it was just really stressful. And in April this year I decided to make it work for me, and this is what I did, is that I really stepped away from the weekly aspect and just tried to document our family's life throughout the weeks. And if I had lots of photos, I would use lots of photos. If I had less photos, that wasn't a problem either. And I used one of the handbooks from Studio Calico, so the cover is still plain. And I used different, so I had 6x8 page protectors, and then these that were divided into two 3x4 and one 4x6. I sometimes added little just 4x6 protectors as well. And these are 3 4x4 cards, and there we go. So that was my Project Life. And then we came, as you can see, it's already full, so August was my last month in this album. And because I felt really comfortable doing Project Life, and because now I have a kind of a routine where I work on it twice a month, and on 2 other moments I print my photos and plan out how I'm going to use them. Now that I've got that routine, I thought to myself I'd step over and use a 12x12 album, and that's what I'm going to be showing you now. And so this is my first time using the 12x12 album, and the first thing I did was to pick the page protectors I was going to use. And I looked for quite some time, and I decided I was going to be using these. So I bought the big variety pack number 2, and so you've got 2 sizes here. You've got page protectors where you've got 4x6 slots that are portraits, and then 4 3x4 slots, but these are landscape. And then in the other page protectors, you've got, again, it's always 4 6x4 and 4 3x4s, but this time the 6x4s are horizontal and the 3x4s are portraits. And I quite like those too, so I thought I'd start working with those. So it's still kind of a trial and error process, because this is my first month using the big album. So here I just took one of the albums I'd lying around. I'll probably buy a new one, a prettier one, but this one will do just fine as it is. So I don't know how I'm going to go about putting them together, so probably I'm just going to take out the page protectors from the album and just work with those. Okay, I've just laid a piece of cardstock beneath so that I can really see all the slots. And as for my material, so I've got some of the Jade collection from Becky Higgins. So I really love these little cards like this one, and I've got a few others. I've got a few others here. I like the yellows and the blacks. And I also got some of the Amy Tangerine 3x4 cards, as well as the 4x6 cards. So those are the 2 Project Life collections I'll be using. I also printed out some of the October printables, which are black and white, but I thought they worked really well with the colors from the Jade collection, because you've also got the black and white elements, and like here with the camera. And black and white also works really well with the Cut&Paste collection as well. So I printed those out. I did round the corners because everything has rounded corners, and so for example this one that had straight corners, well while rounding the corners, that straight little bit had got chopped off, but I'm not going to make a fuss about that. I don't have time to start playing around with those things. So those are the collections. I've already printed out a couple of photos. So I'm starting in September. So the first photos will be of my boys going to school, and I've got some photos that I made with my camera. I'm trying to make lots more with my new camera. I even made a few little collages, okay, here so that I could use more of the photos and also tell the story, because he was playing around our plants and trying to catch butterflies with 2 plastic cups. And I'm also going to be using some of my Instagram pictures as well. I don't have a really fancy camera, and sometimes the quality of the Instagram photos isn't that good. But what I usually do is that I open them up in Photoshop Elements, and I try to play around with them just to get the pixel size a bit bigger, and when I print them off they come out quite nicely. So here I've got 3 of my Instagram photos. So I'm just placing them here, and as you can see the Instagram photos are smaller than the 3x4 slots, which is normal because they are squares. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some of these, so these are from Lilith Eeckels as well, and they're just white cards. I could have just taken cardstock and started cutting, but I thought the white cards, I'll probably be using them a lot, and it's just a time saver if I could just use them, just take them out of the packet and use them. So I'm just going to, where I've got my photos, I might swap them out for maybe some of the colored cards, but just for now that's going to help me decide how I'm going to add all my elements. Now I had a long thought about it, and I was wondering if I was going to do a big title page for each month, but because I want this to be really easy and not too time consuming, I'm just going to add the months using my thickers, and then just add all my photos. So I'm not doing it weekly, so sometimes I could have like 2 weeks on one spread, or maybe I'll just have a week on one side, but I won't have a week on 2 spreads. So as I'm not really doing this I don't have any rules, I'm just going to start with September on this side. Now I'm just going to add this one here as well. So this card is from the Cut&Paste collection. I don't know why I'm adding it inside, because I'll be playing around with it anyway. I also printed out some of these are little printables from the TwoPeas store, and I'm going to be adding those as well, just like the idea of the black and the white. I'm adding those to the photos. So this one is from the Jade collection. It's a bit off-white. You can see it against the white cardstock, but I don't mind, that's okay. Okay. So I'm probably going to add a bit of journaling here. Now I'm going to work with that one and create my title. So I'm going to be using some thickers. And I've taken these thickers from the Cut&Paste collection. They're called Cut Out. So I'm just going to write September with that. So I just stuck down the word September here, and I'm going to add a few little elements above the month. So while I was looking through my stash, I found these little stickers from Jelly Bean Soup. I'm going to use those. Just getting taking the centers out here. So if you've got a cameo, you could cut really similar ones out with your cameo or your silhouette or your portrait. I've got my cameo, but didn't have a lot of time to cut things out, and as this is my first spread in my 12 by 12 album, I still haven't quite gotten the designs of the page protectors, the feel for them, so I kind of forgot to think about cutting elements out. So using little stickers like these are really fun. There we go. I'm just going to add that, and I think I'm going to go round the letters with a black pen a bit later on. So I'm just going to stamp. I take some of this, the Hero Arts Mint Julep ink. I'm just gonna, there we go. Just see if I've got a scrap piece of paper here, just how that stamps. I'm stamping it a few times because my stamp wasn't really clean, and there's just a bit of black still on that stamp. Well, I'm just going to get a baby wipe and wash that off. I should have done this straight away once I used my stamp, but sometimes this one is a tiny one, and sometimes I just forget to clean them. I'll just put them back in the little spot. So I think this should be better now. Yeah, there we go. So I'm using this little roller stamp from Amy Tangerine, and this one just has little words and sayings on them and no dates. And I'm using the one that says hello there. So I'm just going to stamp that a couple of times. There we go. Hello there, hello there. Now just clean it straight away. Okay. And I'm going to be using a few of these little I'm just going to see how that looks. Oh, there's another one that says hello. I think I'm going to go with the repetition. Might add just a little bit of color to that. Now I'm going to take a few of these wild cards out, and I've already chosen some of the ones from the Jade collection, and I really like this one with the camera because I'm holding my phone. And in my previous album I had straight corners, so as a lot of the cards come with rounded corners, I think I'm just going to go with that. Not particularly picky, and I think I'm going to staple that down. There we go. So here I'm using one of those little labels you can get on the printable in the two-piece store. They're just really fun. I'm just going to staple this one down as well at the top. Oh, no staples. So I really like the look of the black there. I think just adding that bit of contrast is really nice. I'm going to take this one out as well. So I like adding the white because that gives me a good idea if it's balanced or not and if I should add a bit of color. So I'm going to be using this one with the little triangles from the Jade collection as well. Now the only thing I'm thinking about now is that I've got my Instagram. I'm going to keep them at the same, I'm going to probably keep them all at the same height. And I'm going to change this one out as well and add just that little bit of yellow. I love this card with all the writing on it. I think that's really pretty. There we go. That's looking quite nice. So yet again, because the rounded corners are there, and I don't like having the straight corners on my photos, I'm going to round them as well. There you go. Down, and then I can have a look at any other embellishments I want to add. Okay, like so. I'm just going to place that next to this one as well, just to get a rough idea where I have to stick the photo. So, okay, this one is okay too, so I'm just going to pop that down so it doesn't move around. Okay. Oh, that's coming along nicely. Okay, now I want to add a little element here because my little son, my youngest son, he was really anxious to get back to school. He really loves school. And going back to school was the highlights of September for them. So I'm just adding these little black stickers, word stickers from My Mind's Eye. They've got this kind of chalkboard effect, which I really love. Tiny word stickers from the Cut&Paste collection. So I'm just adding a few little elements there. And I'm just going to see, just have a look at my little stars here. Still, no, that doesn't look good. Just maybe pop it underneath the photo. No, probably. So this is the part where sometimes I get stuck. So I've got my basic elements, and now I've got to see what other little embellishments I add. Don't want to add too much either. So there we go. I'm just going to have a look through my little stickers. I've got these really fun little stars. I might add a few little stars here. Star of the show. Yeah, that looks fun. So I'm going to leave that as it is and work on going with the others. So here I'm going to write my journaling. I always hand write my journaling. I'd love to have a typewriter because then I could just slip them in. But the time it takes me to get things on the computer and then print them out, just takes too much time. Having a look at all the stickers I pulled out. I kind of like the idea of it's a good. See if I can pop it. No. So I'm just going to have a look here at these are Amy Tangerine products. this one is, I like this one. I'm gonna, instead of having that as a speech bubble, just add the heart on top. There we go. Okay. Maybe so now I'm just playing around with all the little pieces I took out. I don't want to add too much to the photo, but it is still a little bit bare. Just stars. I've taken out, these are little word stickers from the Travel Girl collection, and I've also got some label stickers as well, and I'm going to probably use those and try and add little elements to this page. I've also got this one from the, I think it's the from Basic Grey, so I think the colors work really well. So this is a little tag, but I'm going to leave it as it is because stick it like that. Let's go. Some of that yellow, like that yellow. There. I'm just going to add a few little elements here as well. Maybe just a hint of maybe a bit of red in it. So this is always the tricky part, as I mentioned on earlier, sometimes, because I like, when it comes to embellishments, I really like, it's something really important, and so I can spend lots of time fiddling through embellishments. Oh, this might be nice. I've got some red on this one. It's this tape. This, add a hint of red onto that card. Stick it here. There we go. Oh, it's a bit too. There we go. Just a little bit of red there. Might add a little pop dot onto that later on as well. So I've got little, maybe something here again, just a little bit of color. Might go with a bit of yellow. I'm just going to cut part of that off. There we go. That looks nice as well. So that we waste nothing. Just to break up a bit of that red as well. So that's looking really nice. we're just going to add 2013 to the September title. There we go. And I'm going to add a few dates as well. So September. Where are you, September? September, there you go. September 2nd was the first day of school. So what I usually do is when I use these ones for the date, I just go over and rub over the where there's the word. It's just to make sure that so I'm going to add that here. So all these photos were taken on September the 2nd, and that one was because I went back to school as well as a teacher. I just took a quick picture of me in our mirror. Okay, so that looks really nice. I'm going to add a bit of journaling onto this little card here afterwards, and I'm going to maybe add a little element here. Might do a bit of stamping. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little embellishment here onto this photo. And these are from the Basic Grey collection. And I'm going to write just a little note just to describe what's happening in the photo on this element. And then the journal will be going on this one. And I'll probably be adding a few little elements onto the card as well, just to highlight the colors here. So there you have it. That's my first page. I thought I'd make two, but because it took quite some time to create this one, I think now I have an idea how I want to work with the products, the Becky Higgins cards and the page protectors, and which size suits me. I really like the idea of having some larger photos and then having some space for the smaller ones, or just use them with some filler cards. So what I did at the end is that I just went around the hello here. I don't know if you can see it, I'll just hold it up with a black pen just to make it stand out a little bit more. I also wrote some journaling here on this little label here, and also added my journaling here. This sticker is from the Basic Grey collection, and just a few little stamps, and yet again I repeated the little stars that are also used on this 3x4 card. Thank you so much for watching my first Project Life spread in 12x12 format. I hope I've given you a little idea of how to get started if you want to start Project Life, and that you don't have to do it week by week. You can just use the photos you have and just work through your whole month. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye.